So we're going to be talking about strategies to create synergy between both online or digital channels as well as your in-store channels. The goal today is to leave everybody with some actionable strategies that you can actually implement tomorrow, right? You can't do everything, but there are hopefully some takeaways that you will get from today, this presentation, for you to be able to implement within your store and on your site. And obviously the goal is that we're able to drive more sales. It's everyone's goal, right? But this concept of you having multiple sales channels and having them not properly synergized, connected, united, whatever you want to call it. I don't think everyone truly realizes the opportunity and the advantages you have over a single channel business, okay? It was hard to find stats, do anything with photo labs and this type of stuff, but I managed to find some stats around the fashion business, okay? You think about the fashion business, you got a lot of brands who have their retail stores and who have their online stores. And comparisons with brands who are only online versus omni-channel, both online as well as in-store, 30% higher spend, as well as double the repeat purchase rate. Thinking about that, the loyalty and the brand connection you're able to get by having these two channels, major opportunity. You got to take advantage of that, right? So effectively using this opportunity. Where's the problem, right? Where's the disconnect, right? I put three over here, which people can hopefully relate to, with misaligned promotions, where you're literally letting sales slip right through the cracks. A couple examples like that where you've got maybe in-store signage or no in-store signage. And then let's say you do have a store banner talking about promotion and there's no mention of it anywhere on your other channels, for example, on your website. There really should be. You know, being able to play both off of each other is where the advantage is that you have. You have access to this advantage. Another thing that's pretty basic is if you are running promotions, you have to have everyone on the team know about them, right? If you have staff and they're not fully aware of maybe some online sales, people come in the store, they're asking questions, if there's kind of this misalignment of information and knowledge within your own store, you're kind of immediately losing sales, losing trust, losing that loyalty. You need to have everyone on the same page, especially within your own business. So very important. Other thing, branding and consistency. I've got a major pet peeve with things like pixelated logos, right? And I'm sure you guys, a lot of you would spend a lot of time decorating up your in-store display walls. I remember it was April talking about how she had a really nice 36 by 16 metal print that everyone comes in and they see that and they go, that's the size I want, right? All these efforts that are put into one part of the business, are they properly reflecting on your online store? I'm sure they're not in many cases, where you go to the website and you've got pixelated logos, pixelated images, banners that don't quite look right, product photos that aren't reflecting the beautiful samples that you have in your in-store, inside of your store, right? So trying to find that synergy and consistency of your brand on both channels is just really important, right? As well as loyalty. I mentioned about repeat sales, like absolutely one of the most important stats that everyone should be keeping track of is your percentage of repeat orders. And I know a lot of you have you're servicing your local community. You need to keep milking that community. Some of you have smaller stores, smaller towns to work with. You need to make sure you've got customers who like you and like to come back to your store, right? Missed opportunities for follow-up. So let's use the example of someone coming in a store, getting something purely in-store that doesn't touch your online channel whatsoever. Like they come to the checkout point, POS. I'd imagine all of you are taking phone numbers or emails in your POS, but are you doing anything with them afterwards? Like an easy example. If you go to a lot of restaurant stores, A common thing is like, do you want to have a print, at least I'm talking from a Europe standpoint, but like I'm sure you have it over here as well, which is, do you want to have a printed receipt or do you want to have a receipt sent to your email? A lot of people don't care about the printed receipt. Send it to my email. Opportunity. Okay, there's an opportunity for a follow-up to add something on that email, maybe for their next purchase. 10% off an online order, and all of a sudden you're connecting an offline in-store purchase to being able to incentivize them to get online next time. Online, the best example is just cart recovery, abandoned carts, right? So you've got people coming into your kiosk, you're spending time with them, and a great option is to be like, look, I'm going to help you start the project in store. We're going to save it to your account, have them do it themselves, and say, you can finish this online afterwards, right? And having them start that session in store and then finish it online is a great way to kind of synergize both of them. And you can also do it the reverse way. Let's say online, you've got people who maybe feel a little bit nervous, they're working on a greeting card or something like that, and they go, I kind of wish I could change this, or something like that. On your website, you could very easily just have a few little banners or a little text saying, need some help? Like, come in store. We're happy to help you. We've got experts who'll be able to help you finish your project. Just save it, we'll pull it up, we can finish it. This type of communications are extremely valuable to, again, leverage both of these channels. Rethinking synergy. These are just going to be a few other ideas, very actionable items that you guys can all take to your store. Maybe some of you guys are doing them. I mentioned before the display wall, okay? I'd imagine everyone has some type of display wall if you're selling photo gifts. Why every single one of those products, like that 36 by 16 metal print that's got a beautiful photo of whatever it is, a landscape or family, people need to have a simple QR code right next to it to be able to scan and either take them to a landing page that's got more information about it, or even better, straight to the frickin' size. So they can, right there on their phone, be able to purchase the product on the spot, okay? You can have, I guess you don't want to paint QR codes everywhere, but it's pretty easy to have a few key locations around your store to be able to leverage getting people, stopping them bugging you too much and bugging your staff. You want to give them some prompts to get them moving. Whether it could even be, for example, pricing, right? Instead of having to print out a bunch of pricing flyers or brochures, you could just have little spots next to your display wall. QR code, check out our updated pricing. Little opportunities, again, to bridge that gap between offline, in-store, and your online website. I already talked about the staff guided start with maybe some kind of an email prompt to finish it online. This is another easy and classic one, which maybe some of you are doing. But whether you have people picking up their orders in store or you're shipping out orders, every single one of those packages that doesn't have some kind of an insert inside it is a missed opportunity. It just really simple. Whether it's just a simple thank you note, which is just nice, it's cute, it creates it's a different level of psychology when they receive something from the brand that's branded, thank you for choosing us, whatever it is. It's going to create a different interaction with your brand, which will hopefully lead to a future sale. Well, you could also put a little discount code on there. Next time you come in store or online, here's a promotion or whatever it is, 10% discount. This can be done obviously via packaging inserts in the physical goods, as well as your shipped confirmation, your order confirmation. You don't want to overdo it. Obviously, you have to be very careful when it comes to promotions, which actually an interesting stat. When we were, Shania and I were working on this benchmark report, which we actually will have at our booth during the trade show, where we've been collecting stats from 10 different labs across with our IPI customers. And when we're looking at how many orders had promotions on them, we kind of started asking a question like, what makes sense? What % of your orders should have a promotion on them, right? Should it be 10%? Should it be 50%? Like, where's the right balance? And doing a bit of research, like, it obviously depends on what your goals are. But in general, if you're trying to grow your sales, you should be around the 30% of your orders. Now, different brands have different strategies. Like, I think you don't want to go too much more than a 20%. That's another conversation, depending on what type of stuff you're doing. But if you start feeding the messaging to your customers, hey, we're going to give discounts left, right, and center, you obviously have to be very careful about drip feeding them and spreading them out nicely, timing-wise, also across your portfolio in the correct way, right? Follow-up email series. I mean, this is relatively basic stuff, but worth mentioning. Most people I've talked to in the IPI realm don't do much email marketing. You know, don't do newsletters, don't follow up. This is still one of the most cost-effective media channels to be able to connect and communicate with a targeted and focused demographic of people who've purchased from you before and will likely purchase with you again if you get the right messaging to them, right? And then again, I mentioned before the offer expert help in store. Now, I like this type of stuff. I've been doing a lot of research on kind of this neuro marketing, kind of like psychological triggers about understanding how people are thinking and how you can leverage different concepts to be able to get more sales, right? And in general, I'm going to go through 4 concepts that I chose. But the main point about going through these is if you can understand why people do things and how things work in their mind, you can also much more effectively run your marketing campaigns, make the right decisions for the type of content you're going to output if you understand what you're trying to go after. So let's start with this first one, which is called temporal discounting. And this is kind of like an interesting concept of like how we're wired to choose a smaller reward. Even if you can offer them a bigger reward later, the fact of it being now, it's more valuable to them, okay? This concept of I'll do it later kills sales, right? You have someone coming in, like you make them an offer, like, yeah, I'll look at it later. Like, sales lost, right? You have to keep them hot. You have to give them the right incentives to make that impulse buy on the spot. That's not just for in-store. That's online as well, right? I'll have some examples afterwards as well on that. So small ideas, right? Finish your project the next hour, get 20% off. And this is going to be something we're going to kind of connect 2 slides over here with leave us a review and get a discount. Little story. About 2 months ago, I was in Barcelona with my 2 kids, and we had some time to kill. We're going to look for some lunch. Pull out my phone, and I had the idea of getting some Chinese dumplings. Kids liked it. Pull out my phone, Google Maps, look for Chinese restaurants in the area. We're kind of in Chinatown of Barcelona, and 3 restaurants within like a block or 2. So which one do I choose? The highest rated one. Surprise, surprise. One that had the right balance of the amount of reviews and, you know, if you look at a place that has 4.7 stars and has 6 reviews versus a place that's 4.3 but it's got 300 reviews, you obviously use your judgment and go, okay, I think I'm going to trust this one more because the quantity matters. It's more real when there's been the level of social trust that you're getting there. Now, what's interesting was not that part, is actually after the meal. Very nice little local place and very, very, very authentic. Afterwards, I had to pay up at the counter. Okay, so I walk up, go to pay, and the lady behind the counter says to me, if you leave us a review now, I'll give you a discount on your bill immediately. And I was confused, like, you know, it's so easy to say, oh yeah, I'll leave you a review later. It was, you leave me a review right now. Obviously, I was a happy customer, okay? I had a nice meal, my kids are there, happy. It doesn't take long to write a little review. And I did it on the spot. 15% discount off my bill. I was happy. Happy to give a 5-star review And guess what? That's the strategy they've been using, which is what brought me into the store, right? Probably the last few weeks, they had organized this campaign. They only had something like 50 reviews at the time. But you start doing campaigns like that, and you have to use your judgment, of course. You're not going to have a person who's been in the store for 7 hours and who's maybe frustrated and angry, and they come up to the store and you're like, do you want to leave us a review? No, you're going to have to use your judgment and obviously talk to your staff and be like, hey, was this a happy customer? Did I help them? Would they give me a 5-star review? You asked them for it. And why not give them an incentive for it? Like one of the things I mentioned at the very beginning was about something to take away from this presentation is an easy thing that you should be focusing on is not obsessing over, but just focusing on is how to drive up your Google reviews. Okay, super valuable. And look, there's some stats over here, right? 90% of customers read online reviews when researching local businesses. 73% of all online reviews are reviews on Google. Google Reviews is obviously connected to Google Business Profile. And over here, this is again an omni-channel or multi-channel opportunity, right? This is not just on Google Maps or on your website. It also can be in store. You can have a little next to your display wall or even on your display wall. Why not display some previous happy customer products, whether it's like a printed review, obviously you want to do it tastefully, that looks good, but have a few of your nice reviews, or even hit a little, you could probably print a little plaque, that shows, your 4.7 star rating or whatever out of this many reviews. This is stuff that, think about restaurants, when they have like a good review, I'm thinking about like your Michelin star restaurant, stuff like that. They have that at the entrance. Like I'm walking into a business that others have come to, have been happy, it's been a proven business that I can now trust more, and I'm more willing to part with more of my money, right? And this concept of you can encourage people to leave you reviews post-purchase if you know they're going to be happy, but also obviously on your website, where after a purchase on your website, you can definitely we've actually just recently done this for Google Reviews. Richard, if anyone of you know, has been working on this project with a bunch of different tools. It's something called Pixviz AI, and a lot of these different review systems have this, but you basically have a delay of something like 3-4 days after they've placed an order. And then you basically ask them, hey, can you leave us a review? But most people don't have time to do that. You have to provide a little carrot, right? Provide them with something if they're going to leave you a review, whatever it is, right? All right, so another classic one, fear of missing out, FOMO, right? People fear loss more than they desire gain. The point is, it's a powerful emotion that really triggers action, and there's plenty of opportunities that you can use over here. And it's just these, as well, just subtle little pieces you can add. On your website, it's very, very easy. Like a classic one are things like countdowns on your website, and a lot of them just reset. You see this across the board with e-commerce, but in store as well. The classic thing I can think of as well, like going into gyms at least. Like I don't go to the gym very much, but the point is, like any gym you go into, it's always like this. Like we're doing a promotion, ends in 2 days. We're not going to charge you the inscription fee or something like that. So they're providing you with an urgency and a fear of missing out on that opportunity. So we have to act now. Sign up now. Don't send them home to think about it afterwards. They won't come back, right? It is one of the strongest human motivators, right? Now, you need to be thinking about different strategies on how to make your products, your services, your promotions. How can you make them more exclusive? How can you make them more limited and make people feel like they need to act now in order to leverage and take advantage of them, right? Other classic ones, limited stock, don't miss out, flash sales. This is a tricky one sometimes, and we've actually got a workflow that we're working now for Shopify, and hopefully we're going to extend it on our side as well. But essentially, we got a customer in South Africa who's obsessed with flash sales. And his thing is they just kind of launch these very short, very aggressive sales, but they end in 24 hours. So if you miss them, they're gone, right? And you don't know when they're going to come again. So it's not like but when it comes to our business, some people might need some time to do their greeting card, or do a photo book, or even choose the right photo they want to have on their big canvas or their 3 canvas set, whatever it is. But you can still close the sale and give them some wiggle room to be able to design it afterwards. Okay? An easy example of that is sell a promotion, but you're only selling, let's say, the voucher or gift card on the spot. Okay? Funny enough, this is a different South African customer, but Black Friday and Cyber Monday, they do site-wide 40% off, but about 60% of their sales on those 2 days are purely voucher codes. And they're basically saying, buy $100 worth of credit for $60. Get it now. You have a year to use it. Big opportunity, okay? Emotional resonance. So this is a relatively easy one, but I think it's important to kind of think about what type of messaging, what type of images you're using both in-store as well as online that can help your customers relate more with them, right? You get some nice pictures of families, or a little element like some kind of gift that has their pet on it, or little things that they can relate to versus just having more generic stock imagery is kind of what I'm getting to. And like a little idea that you could do, it's not just imagery, of course, it's also just trying to make them think and trying to train yourselves and your staff to kind of try sell what you're selling, not directly the products you're selling, but for them it's the content that's important, right? For them it's the imagery, it's the memories, so instead of trying to just sell a mug or a canvas print, it's like, no, this is going to be an awesome gift for your husband or whatever it is, right? It's a matter of just shifting the focus of, hey, if you upgrade, if you maybe get the thicker canvas size, don't make the advantage of that just being it's going to be more sturdy, it's going to look better on the wall for your whatever. Try always connect it to something that that customers can relate to. And obviously online, like if you have, just going back to consistency, if you've got like, again, a beautiful setup in your store with all these nice curated family and pet and whatever it is displays, and then on your website it's all like generic mock-ups, it's a major disconnect, right? You gotta try, you guys all have cameras, it's not easy doing product photography, but you could at least have a few pieces for banners which add so much more life and can help people connect with the products. Again, you gotta sell more than just the actual product, is the kind of the idea I'm trying to get across. Skip that one over there. Let's go over here, Google Business. So if you guys, I hope everybody is taking their Google Business profile seriously, because it has a huge impact on, again, both online and in-store opportunities, right? So your sales, your traffic, your repeat purchases, you need to not only keep it updated, your basics, right? Opening hours, photos, promotions, minimum effort, big impact, just little hints about what you'd like to try and achieve. And if you're doing minimal stuff, don't bite off more than you can chew, right? Just okay, once a week, Monday, I'm just gonna update, add a new promotion onto Google, or take a new photo, or do a little video, right? Now, Google Business Profile has been there's a few updates recently I do know of, they've kind of turned it into more of a social feed, okay? So it's got more of a timeline, and you also can connect virtually all of your social media stuff. And I think someone was telling me before how my previous presentation, someone was talking about how they're doing a lot of their TikTok videos now, whatever it is. But if you're just doing it on TikTok, there's a major disconnect with actually being able to get it into your business, into your connection, into your Google. Like having your Google business profile is kind of a central point where it can connect any social media stuff, your online store, your physical store. It is a great, if there's one thing that you can focus on as far as building up reviews and connecting all of your data, this is a great place to start, okay? Next level would obviously be setting up things like a proper CRM, and you do regular newsletters, but this is an awesome place to start to just get up-to-date information about your business and communicate with your customers, right? This is a fantastic channel. Few other ideas, okay? Because I know this is not easy. Everyone's busy. Everyone's busy. It's not easy to find time to essentially take a step back and go, okay, what promotions are we going to do? But it's easier than it ever has been, okay? Everyone knows what's going to come out of my mouth next. It's going to be obviously something like ChatGPT, right? It is easier than ever to go to ChatGPT for free and say, I have a photo lab retail store in here, and I also have an online store. Help me create the whole year even. I want to have a marketing plan for promotions that I want to run throughout the year. And you could just start off with running one promotion a month. Okay, simple as that. This is a little bit small to read, but this is very, very light, right? But just the concept of like, okay, in September, it's going to be a back-to-school campaign, right? Okay, what types of products can we work on that? Stationery. We'll do a few promotions on stationery, right? But plan it ahead, right? Halloween, Black Friday, like the amount of this. I'll do a little discussion, talk about Black Friday because your customers are expecting it. And if you haven't organized yourself to know what kind of promotions you're planning on running, and customers are kind of saying, hey, are you guys doing anything for Black Friday or Cyber Monday? And the answer is no, or you don't have a clear answer, or a consistent answer, and one staff doesn't know that, or whatever it is, that's losing trust. That's showing you're not organized. And it's not as hard as you think it is, because ChatGPT can do a lot of the groundwork for you, okay? Obviously the big ones, this is just listing out all the big ones. And it could be as simple as doing just one a month, literally, one a month. And this as well, like this simple 5-step process, just it's more to think about it. And again, you could just throw this at ChatGPT and like, I want to have you help me plan out the offer, know what it's going to be, design the creative, and this is not just for online. Remember, this has got to be both channels or multiple channels. It could be social media as well, email campaigns. Like if you're running a promotion throughout the whole month of September, for example, or August, and you're doing 20% off of all stationery, there should be a banner on your website. There should be signage in your store. There should be a banner on the bottom of all of your transactional emails, maybe on your receipts. Just leverage every level of real estate. Obviously, don't start putting stickers everywhere. But like you can find opportunities to get a consistent communication of what you're offering, and obviously make it accessible to all of your customers, right? Obviously, you need to communicate to customers when you have these, and do a little bit of push marketing, right? Ideally, you have this great opportunity because people are walking in store. When they walk in store, there should be something hopefully there, kind of letting them know, hey, this is what's on offer at the moment, right? And direct them to that as well. Obviously, online, you've got your banners to do that. But ideally, Google Business Profile, a little bit of social media, even if it's just one channel, just the little extra effort of telling ChatGPT, hey, I need a banner for my Facebook page. Like, it can make it for you. And just the process of publishing it, there are even tools to be able to have it publish it for you, okay? So it really is easier than it's ever been to run these multi-channel campaigns, promotions, okay? So as far as, again, a takeaway that I hope everyone is like focused, because I think the average, we did a quick check on a lot of different IPI members as far as like what kind of Google reviews do people have. And I think the average has been somewhere in the realm of like 30, 40, 50, 60. We didn't really see many that were over, 3 figures. But if you start the campaign of just adding a little bit of a push, incentives, and just ask people who you know are happy with what you've done for them, please leave us a review. You can get 50 in a month, right? It's doable. You can really grow it quickly. And those types of reviews, that's going to feed back into more traffic in-store, online. It's just such an obvious place that hopefully everybody can just internalize and go, yeah, I'm going to work on getting that target up to X, right? And I hope everyone does that. It's obvious that, I've kept it quite light in general, I hope. And hopefully you can't do everything, right? You can't do all of this for 20 campaigns a month. That's why I said keep one a month is okay, right? It's better than doing none or keeping them all misaligned, but just try pick one and make it happen, right? Pick one strategy, implement it, and obviously you have to track. Ideally, you want to track this, right? This is not always super easy. We've been putting some more tools into our system, make it easier to track these types of things. But you'll know in general, right? You'll be able to see at least year over year. Okay, this time I'm just going to get myself organized, and in September I'm going to run a campaign. Last year I did something half-assed. Like, take it a little more seriously this year, and you'll be able to see hopefully better results. So I'm going back and forth here to be able to see what you can do with just a little bit more preparation. Okay.